We're back. I'm Jess.
I'm Gianna.
Welcome to
Thick Thighs Save Lives. Thank you to everyone who watched our last podcast, our first podcast.
Yes, we got so much love on that. It was amazing.
Oh my god, it was so good. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys let us know if you want us to talk about like anything specific in our podcast. Also, we hope this quality is better than our first video.
Yes, it's a work in progress, so be patient.
We just had to find what worked.
Yes.
So we got new mics.
Got a new camera. We're going to see what works best.
Here we are.
So today is going to be a juicy one.
Today is a juicy one. Of course, we have our refreshers. Cheers.
Cheers. We were talking about relationships.
Ugh, the juicy topic.
We've had such different experiences with relationships that it's like night and day between what we've experienced.
No, literally.
So I feel like we should just start.
Yeah. And the fact that you're in a relationship now and I'm not, our lives are different.
They're very different.
In that aspect. So I have some questions for you too.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready for this. Let's start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like, how old were you when you got in your first relationship?
So I feel like my first serious relationship was in high school in 2016.
Okay.
And it lasted for like 2 years.
So you were a freshman?
I was a sophomore, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And it ended around, I want to say like the end of my junior year.
Okay.
Almost senior year, I think. I don't remember too well, but I think so.
So this is where we're very different because my first relationship was when I was about to turn 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was old. I was an old bloomer. And I was the friend in high school that like all of my friends had boyfriends.
Yeah.
My guy friends were my friends' boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to things like formal and prom, I was the dateless one.
Oh.
So I would take, like, my gay best friend.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. But, like, when it came to, like, picking prom tables, oh, my God, I was always left in the dust because
oh my goodness,
all the guys that were friends wanted to sit together with their girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, well, what about me?
Right.
So that kind of sucked, to be honest with you. And honestly, throughout my entire life, I've been the friend that's like, boys would hit me up and be like, set me up with your friend.
Oh. And then that makes you feel a type of way.
Yeah.
Like, what about me?
Like, I was essentially the duff.
Yeah.
Designated ugly fat friend.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
It made me feel terrible about myself for so long.
That's
so
terrible.
What did you, like, learn during your first relationship?
Yeah.
What happened? How did it start? How did it end?
So basically, me and this kid we had the same English class. Not English. The same Italian class in high school. And I, like, never even looked at him. Like, when we first got together, he was a freshman.
Okay.
I was a sophomore. So, you know, when you're in high school, you don't want to date anyone younger than you. You're like, ew, a freshman. But he ended up throwing, like, a piece of paper at me in Italian class. And then we started, like, talking, and then he found me on Instagram and Snapchat, and, like, it just kind of
fell in love.
Blossomed from there.
Okay.
First relationship, though, I feel like you fall real hard.
Really hard.
And you just cannot imagine your life without them.
They're the end-all, be-all.
You're like, I'm going to marry this person.
Yes.
And it's like, no, honey, you're not.
You have no idea what's out there.
There's so many fish in the sea. It's not going to happen.
So what essentially made it end?
Honestly, I don't even, like, when I think back to it now, I'm like, I really don't know. I was older.
Okay.
So I don't really remember. Like, it was just very toxic towards the end of the relationship. Like, I think he ended up, like, texting another girl or something.
Ugh.
And I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, something along the lines.
Okay.
I don't really remember.
Where's he today? Do you know?
He is a dad. He had a baby.
Oh.
He had a baby.
Okay.
Wish him the best, but that was not my person.
That's crazy. That was not your person.
It was very toxic towards the end, like, just not for me.
That's insane. But we truly wish him the best.
Yeah, and I'm sure if I started, like, talking about the things that went on in the relationship, other girls would be like, yeah, same thing happened to me in high school.
Honestly feel like okay, well, I didn't experience a high school relationship, but I feel like girls as a whole experience all the same things because every guy is the same. Like, do something
kind of
different.
Crazy. It's crazy how, like, guys are the same. Like, they're
It's-
all the same.
And they love to say that girls are crazy.
It's like, no.
Maybe if you didn't act like that, I wouldn't have to act crazy.
No, literally. Your first relationship was what? 20, you said? 20 years old?
I was 20. I got on the dating app.
Mm-hmm.
Me and this person clicked, and I invited him over my house. I learned a lot from that relationship.
Yeah,
to say the least.
I feel like your first relationship, you learn the most from.
Absolutely.
Because you learn what you like.
Mm-hmm.
You learn what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And you just figure out, like, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
In a serious relationship.
I honestly feel like in this time in my life, I was so vulnerable, but I was not in the right headspace to be in a relationship at all.
Yeah.
Because with my anxiety being so bad, I looked to him for approval.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, as somebody who deals with anxiety, it's very hard to, like, ask somebody to deal with your own anxieties.
Yeah.
And I feel like I kind of asked him to do that. And it got to a point where he was like, why won't you go out to dinner? Why won't you come here with us? Why won't you go there with us? And I'm like, bro, I can't. Like, physically cannot because of my anxiety.
Yeah. And I feel like if you don't go through it, you don't understand it.
No, absolutely.
At all. I feel like that kind of brings me to my most recent relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you guys know me personally, like, my family troubles and everything, which we'll get into that at a later episode. Mm-hmm. But that obviously takes, like, a serious toll on your mental health.
Absolutely.
And so my most recent relationship from, like, what was it now, like a year ago? Probably over a year ago. He would kind of use it against me.
Absolutely.
Like, you know.
Yes.
He would use it against me. And when we broke up, like, the reasoning he used with why we broke up had to do with my family situation.
Yeah, he literally would text Gianna and be like, I'm breaking up with you because your mom does this, your dogs do this, your dad does this. Yeah. It's like, they're not in the relationship.
No. Your person is supposed to support you through those things.
Absolutely.
And he just wasn't that.
No.
Whatsoever.
Even my ex, he wasn't my person because his priority was his friends. Yeah. And that's fine. No, it's actually not fine. If you're in a relationship, your priority should be the relationship, and your friendship should be a priority too, but they're two separate things. Yeah. And with this person, it wasn't two separate things because his best friend was his neighbor, and I literally could not go to his house without them showing up. The best friend had a girlfriend. She did everything with them, which is fine. Go off, girl. Do your thing. Yeah. But when it came to things like Christmas, like, I remember Christmas, I sat at his house and I ran upstairs to his bathroom and cried because the parents got them a gift for the three of them as I'm just sitting there. Oh my God.
That's just, I don't like that.
And
terrible.
It was just always the three of them, and I was basically a fourth wheel in my own relationship and felt like I was competing with his friend and his friend's girlfriend, and it should never be like that.
Oh, never. You should never feel that way, especially in a relationship.
No. So with your most recent relationship, what are some things that, like, you liked about the relationship versus what you didn't like about it?
I feel like in the moment, it's so good and everything seems, like, amazing. After the relationship ends, you kind of start thinking, like, reflecting back, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Why did I put up with that, first of all? Mm-hmm. And second of all, why did I even allow that? We moved so quickly. When we first started talking to each other, like, we hadn't even met yet, and we told each other that we loved each other.
Oh.
Way too quick.
Okay, but I'll be honest with you, I feel like that's not that uncommon in today's day and age. With,
true.
Like, dating apps and
like, online relationships. Like, online dating. Nothing good comes out of it. I mean, maybe in certain cases it does.
Like, not me meeting my current boyfriend.
Right.
So what is something that, like, you learn from your past relationship that you're like, absolutely not, deal breaker, never again, like, red flag?
Well, a reason the relationship ended, okay, honestly, like, I feel in every relationship, if you don't have proper communication,
absolutely,
and you can't, like, communicate your feelings and Like, if something's bothering you, if you just, like, storm out and leave, that's a major red
Oh
flag.
my God.
I will not ever put up with that again.
No, stay and talk about it.
Especially if you're, like, a grown-ass man.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't communicate with me about how you feel about things or, like, what you're going through, whatever, it's never gonna work.
Like, let's stop with the temper tantrums. You're
like,
not 5.
Stop it. Like,
Mhm.
really. If you get mad about something and you just shut down and leave, why am I gonna sit there and, like, accept that?
Dude, my ex used to not speak to me for days if he was mad at me.
It's like,
and then I'd call him and I'd be like, hello. Like, I would call him to talk about the issue and he'd literally hang up or not answer the phone or send me to voicemail. I'm like, where is this getting us?
my last relationship, when it ended, I was
Mhm.
begging him to call me on the phone
Mhm.
or to come to my house, talk to me. He refused. Like, for reasons that I think I know, because, whatever. But
Wait, what reasons do you think it is?
because I think he cheated on me.
You do? I never knew this.
100%. So
Wow.
my ex was going to New York every weekend. Do you
I
remember?
do remember this.
And around the time, he stopped, like, answering his phone, stopped communicating with me. This whole...
He was like, where are you,
like,
dude?
what are you doing? Why are you in another state?
And his excuse was he was staying with his uncle or his
Mhm.
cousin or something. And we're like, every weekend you have a slumber party with your uncle?
Also, zero communication with me.
Yeah.
So,
While we're on the topic of, like, no communication and, like, red flags, let's name our top red flags in a man.
really...
My red flags include extremely, extremely, extremely heavy car guy.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Like, my current boyfriend, he does mechanic on the side of his full-time job.
Yeah.
But he's not like, I'm gonna marry this car.
Yeah. My first boyfriend was like that.
So
my
was
high
mine.
school boyfriend, obsessed with cars. And, like, car meets, like those car shows.
God.
If you ever invite me to a car show...
He used to want me to drive 3 hours to a different state to go to a car show. I'm like,
no, I will come up with every
what?
excuse to not have to do that.
Yeah, no. So if, like, being a car guy is your only personality, like, I don't want it.
No, not at all.
Like, talk about something different.
Yeah.
Another red flag of mine is anger problems.
If you have, like, a temper tantrum about something so little, you're not for me, sir.
No, like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Especially, I feel like the people that I've talked to or dated usually are a couple years older than me.
Can't relate.
Usually, like, they're a couple years older than me. I'm like, you're supposed to be grown. You're supposed to be mature. No, they're not.
My ex used to freak out on me if I, like, couldn't go to his house because I was having an anxiety attack. And my anxiety attacks are so bad that, like, I can't do anything. So, like, the fact that you want me to get in my car and drive to your house, you're crazy.
My high school boyfriend, I don't think anybody knows this.
Oh, I'm scared.
Not even my family, so hopefully they don't watch this. My high school boyfriend got so mad at me one time. I don't even remember why. Not for any reason, like, I never cheated. Like,
clearly it wasn't
like
big
that.
enough for you to remember.
No, right. It was probably something so stupid. He took my iPhone out of my hand and slammed it on the floor, and it shattered the entire screen. Afterwards, like, literally 5 seconds later, he started bawling his eyes out, crying.
I know somebody
Like,
with a similar story.
I didn't mean
literally
that.
know somebody with a similar story.
I was, like, traumatized from that experience. First of all, you ripped it out of my hand.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't touch my stuff. And then you destroyed it. My phone.
That's insane.
Insanity.
Something also about me, it's not a red flag. It's actually a green flag swinging around in my book. I love a good short king.
Not me.
Love me a good short king.
No, I need taller. Like, taller.
I don't know. I always preface this by saying, I'm 5'1". I'm a short little girl.
Yeah, I'm 5'3".
So you could be like 5'3", and I'll be happy with it.
No.
I will say now my current boyfriend is not a short king.
These trains for real. Ruining our podcast.
Although my current boyfriend is not a short king, I
Yeah.
think he'd kill me if I said that.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. Like, being 5'1", I don't want a boyfriend that's 6'3". Like, why do I have to go on my tippy toes? Well, I have to go on my tippy toes to hug my current boyfriend, but, like, I'm not trying to strain my neck giving you a kiss or a hug or telling you a secret.
I need taller. Like,
as most women do.
I love taller. 6 feet the least.
It does nothing for me.
I love it. I don't know why.
Also, if you're the size of my pinky, you're not for me.
No.
You need a little meat on your bones.
Yeah.
Hence, thick thighs save lives.
Right.
Like, we're not going for the string beans. I'm sorry.
No, and my first high school boyfriend was one of those. Sorry.
Like, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I have 3 red flags.
Okay.
Right off the top of my head. Especially on a dating app, if you message me and you say, "What's your Snap?" I will never answer you ever again.
Never.
First of all, we're in our 20s.
Yes.
Like, okay, I use Snapchat sometimes, but like, if you want our only way of communicating to be through Snapchat,
you're 12 years
old. At our big age,
yeah, no.
What? Absolutely not. I will never text you back.
No.
My other red flag is when they're obsessed. I don't know if your boyfriend is, so I'm sorry. But if they're obsessed with video games.
No, he doesn't play video games.
That gives me the biggest ick. When you sit there and you just like yell at your TV and all you do is play games all day.
I used to sit in my room for hours waiting for my ex to FaceTime me every night, and he was busy playing video games. You're going on a date, ladies, and your man beeps the horn for you to come outside.
Text him and tell him you just threw up and you can't come. Like, don't go on that date.
Do not go on that date.
Don't.
It's the least they can do to get out of their car and come greet you. And if you live at home with your parents, say, "Hi, how are you? How are you doing?" Yeah. Like, it's the simplest thing on the face of the planet. And it means a lot to girls.
It does. Those are like the little things that girls want and they'll like remember in a relationship.
And it's also things that girls' families look at.
Yes. Me, like my ex, the first time we went on a date, and this is why I was like, oh my God, like he's so good. He walked up to my front door. He was all dressed up, all nice, knocked on the door, and like walked with me to the car. He was like gonna shake my dad's hand, but my dad was like sleeping or something. He didn't care. But I was like, wow, that's so respectful of him. Like, so respectful. That. That was like one thing I always remembered.
When I got into my previous relationship and my current relationship, the first time we hung out was at my house. Because I have to be comfortable with you to go out to eat or to like go to your house.
Know what? I feel like I'm different from you in that way because for me, like, well, I mean, I have anxiety, but like,
mine's debilitating.
Yours is probably worse than mine. I feel like, no, I wouldn't say that. I feel like we probably deal with it certain ways or like,
absolutely,
it shows in different ways, and like, as does everyone who deals with that. But like, for me, I would rather go out like in public with somebody first rather than have them like come to my house.
Okay, but
or me go to their house.
Hear me out. Because people think I'm crazy for this.
What?
Having them come to my house the first time. I live at home with my parents. I met these men on dating apps. If you're trying to kill me, there's 3 other people in the house. You're not getting away with it, sir.
That's true.
So it's also like a safety thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like, yeah, they know where I live, but like, you're also meeting my father, so good luck.
I also, like, another red flag that I have is when you first, like, start, like, texting with a guy on a dating app, and literally an hour later, he's like, oh, I want to come see you. I'm like, sir, first of all, you don't know my birthday. You don't even know where I'm from yet. Like, let's get to know each other first. You don't even have my phone number yet.
No.
Like, come see me. Sir,
in your dreams.
I'm in
no,
bed right
literally.
Now. Like, it's like, I hate that. I hate when they just try to kind of rush it because it feels less genuine to me.
Absolutely.
It's like, what are you trying to do right now?
Something that always melts my heart. If you ask me to FaceTime.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, like, or you call me on the phone.
I love that.
I love that.
I like texting, but I want you to like pick up the phone and want to talk to me.
Every single Tuesday when I leave work, I call my boyfriend on the phone. And I don't even know if he's listening half the time, but I just rant about my shift. And it's just like, literally, it's just on my drive home when I leave work to when I get home. And it's just us talking for 15 minutes. And like, that's enough.
Yeah.
And that's something that took me so long to learn With my ex, we had to talk 24/7. We had to fall asleep on FaceTime. We had to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
With my current boyfriend, we could send a good morning text and not text until we're out of work. And, like, it's okay.
I feel like when you first start dating somebody, you kind of become, like, infatuated with that person. And honestly, I feel like the downfall of a lot of relationships is, like, being so together in the beginning of the relationship. Like, every day, every hour. That's how me and my high school boyfriend were. Like, I feel like we would literally hang out every single day. And towards the end of the week, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of you now.
Yeah.
Like, and I get that's how it is when you're married to somebody, but, like,
you need to give each other time to be themselves. Like, if I'm texting my ex 24/7 all during the day, when we would get on FaceTime, we would have nothing to talk about.
Like, there's no conversation to have.
And something about my ex that was a red flag for me, I would ask him about his day or be like, oh, how was work? He would get angry at me. I'm not at work. Don't talk to me about work. I hate my job. Don't talk to me about it.
Whoa.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. And never once was he like, oh, how was your day?
And in the moment, you accepted that.
I did. Like, I want to hear your third and final red flag. And I think it's going to be my favorite.
Okay. It's a red flag. It's an ick. It's something I will never forget for the rest
It's flat out disgusting.
It's so disgusting that I just need to tell the story. I need to tell the story behind it.
Yeah.
My ex peed my bed.
For those of you who didn't hear that the first time, her ex, grown man, peed in her bed while they were sleeping.
In my bed while we were sleeping.
Was fully sober.
And I need to give you guys the backstory because this is, like, wild. I literally woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, I kind of felt, like, wet on my clothes.
In your head, you were probably like, oh my God, am I sweating?
No, I felt like, oh my God, am I sweating? Like, what
happened?
What happened? But I was also still half asleep. So I just went back to sleep because I didn't.
Yeah, you were like, am I dreaming? Like when you dream that you're falling off a cliff and you think you're like, is this really happening?
Never in a million years would I think that he peed in my bed. So I wake up the next morning and he's, like, looking at me. And I'm like, why am I soaking wet? Why is my bed soaking wet? And he looks at me and he goes, I pissed last night. He goes, I tried to tell you last night when you were sleeping. And I said, what? Everyone comes with some sort of baggage.
Absolutely.
Like, I would say yours is your anxiety, obviously. Mine is my anxiety and also, like, my other family issues. My family issues take the best of me, seriously.
Yeah.
So I need someone who, like, fully accepts that and someone who will, like, be there for me in those times and be like,
somebody who understands that you don't choose your family.
Yeah, like, sometimes I need space, but I want someone who's like, okay, I'll give you your space when I'm here if you need me. Not someone who will be like, what do you need space for?
Yeah.
Like my ex who kind of left me for that reason.
Yeah.
Someone who fully accepts everything about me and my life, my situation.
And, like, being your best friend and seeing how you are and how you do things, you need somebody who's going to work hard. Because you've built your own business. You went to esthetician school. You are so independent that you need somebody who's going to add to your life and want to grow with you and your business and want to do things. Not somebody who's going to be like, why are you going to work at 8 p.m.?
Right.
And you're like, I'm loyal to my clients that I'm built. Like,
yeah.
You need somebody who's going to work the way you work. Yeah, you need somebody who fits like a puzzle piece, not somebody who's going to engulf you and try to make you somebody you're not, or somebody who's going to try to, like, take away from everything you've built because, like, you're a strong person, let me tell you right now. Because the stuff that goes on in your life, no, you really are. The stuff that goes on in your life is enough to deal with. You don't need some boy adding to that drama.
No, and that's exactly what my ex did.
Absolutely.
And that's why he's my ex.
The fact that, like, he would use your family issues against you, like, you're disgusting. You're disgusting. What kind of... You can't pick your family, dude. Like, what?
Yeah. And, like, my ex also knew how it affected me
Mm-hmm.
and knew that, like, I was dealing with it a certain way and, like, I was struggling with it. And, like, to use it against me in that way, it's like, wow. Like, did you ever have any ounce of respect for me?
No. It's disgusting.
Not one bit.
You should always want to be a positive light in people's lives. You never want
Yes.
to add to their drama or add to what they're going through with their families because you never know how bad things can get.
Yeah.
And the grass is always greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So try to make the people in your lives grass a little greener.
Yeah. Like, kind of to close with this whole relationship topic, I feel like now that I'm single and I've been single for a while, like in the moment when you're going through breakups, they suck.
It's the worst thing ever.
Like, you think your life is coming to an end. Like, you're so depressed. You, like, cry. Everything's sad. But ultimately, like, right now, I feel like those are the things that made me the way that I am and made me, like, know what I'm looking for in a next potential relationship.
Imagine going through a breakup while your 12-year-old dog is dying.
Yeah, that's, like, traumatizing.
That was crazy.
Crazy.
But it made me learn that, like, okay, this person was in my life for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Made me miserable some of the time. I have more stuff to worry about than this person who is a chapter in my book that's now ended.
Yeah. You, like, at the end of the day, he taught you a lot.
He did.
He taught you a lot.
And I will never regret that relationship.
Yeah.
Because I learned so many things from it. I learned a lot about myself and about things that I want in my life.
Yeah. You learned what not to accept.
Exactly. I learned how to respect myself more.
Yeah.
By dealing with things that were a little disrespectful.
I really believe everything happens the way that it's supposed to.
For a reason.
Like, you're on a path. This is the way it has to go.
Mm-hmm.
People will evaporate from your life for a reason.
Absolutely.
It's very, very accurate. Like, if you really sit there and think about it, like, if all of those things didn't happen to me, all of the bad things didn't happen to me,
you wouldn't be who you are.
I would not be here. Like, have a business, like, be, like, okay, like, you know, everything happens the way that it's supposed to. And those past relationships, obviously, just...
they're a learning lesson.
They really are a learning lesson.
And that's what I think girls need to start seeing is, like, yeah, you could cry and you could be upset. It is not the end of the world that you and your man's broke up. Yeah. Because looking back, like, even you, with your relationships that ended almost 2 years ago, the things you learned is crazy.
Crazy.
And, like, even now, in me being in a new relationship, I'm catching up on stuff that, like, if we get in an argument and he pushes my button a little too far, I make a note in that moment.
Yeah.
Whereas in my past relationship, I would just let it sit. Like, not speak up for myself ever. It was just a problem. And I'm learning that we communicate better because I'm communicating better. Because, let's be honest, relationships go two ways. It's not just one person's fault that things go south.
I also hate the saying relationships should be 50-50. They should be 100.
Absolutely.
Both parties of the relationship need to give 100% of themselves in order for it to work. And I feel like with my past relationship, him not being able to communicate wasn't him giving 100% of himself to the relationship. So therefore, it didn't work out.
And going with everybody dealing with different stuff, even with friendships, like, if Gianna knows I'm having a bad day with my anxiety, she puts in the extra effort that I can't give that day. Or if stuff's going on with her family, I'm giving her what she needs more than what she's giving to me in that moment. Like, it's all about balance.
I was just going to say that. Twin telepathy.
Girl, it took us a lot to learn this. Like, what? You learn that you start liking boys at what, like 10?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Around there.
That means it's been 12 years of us trying to figure out a path, and we don't know everything yet.
Yeah.
I'm madly in love right now, and it could end tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm going to pick myself up no matter what happens and work on myself and be a better person for myself and for others around me.
Every person in your life teaches you a lesson. Like, 100%. You've taught me lessons. My ex taught me lessons. My high school boyfriend taught me lessons. everyone in your life teaches you something, like whether it's good or bad, like at the end of the day,
It happened.
it works in your favor because it brings you to where you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be with.
Yeah, so I think in conclusion, we went over a bunch of funny stories today. Like, honestly, so many different things we've talked about. But, like, I think what we want everybody to take from this is, like, don't regret the relationships you've been in, you've had in the past, you're going to have in the future. Everything's going to work out the way it should be.
Everything's a learning experience. Like, everything happens the way that it's supposed to. And even if, like, you thought you were going to be with your person forever and it didn't work out, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
And, like, when the day comes that you meet your person that you're going to spend forever with, like, you'll be like, wow. Wow.
They were right.
They were right.
Whoa.
That was a good.
That was good.
That was good. That was good. I hope you guys learned something today.
Yeah,
I took something from that.
We didn't talk too much shit about anybody.
No. And I feel like maybe you guys have some similar experiences.
Absolutely.
I feel like everyone goes through, like, that one breakup that's like,
oh my God. In the comments, if you stayed with us this long, in the comments, without dropping any names, I want you to drop the craziest thing your ex ever did.
Yes,
whether
please.
It's Pete the Bed, whether it's I don't even know. Like, I just want a funny story.
Yes, I need.
And with that being said, I'm Jess.
I'm Gianna,
and this has been
Thick Thighs Save Lives. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so good.
That was so good.
So
oh my God.